biggest problem to me with processed foods is not what's in our lettuce, not what's in our meat, the meat we're eating. My biggest problem is actual processed foods, and if you already know it's bad for you, why are you going to bother eating it? Why are you going to waste your time with it? Are people not educated enough to know that these processed foods are causing cancer and other sorts of diseases? I have friends, I go to their houses, and literally, you don't see fruit in the house, you don't see a vegetable in the house. I mean a real vegetable, I'm not talking about iceberg lettuce, I mean an actual spinach, an actual broccoli, fruit like strawberries, apples, in season, peaches. They don't have any of it, and they don't even care to buy any of it. What do you see when you open their fridge? You see ketchup, hot sauce, all different sorts of dressings that they load their food in to make a flavor come out that's processed. What do you see when you open up the drawer? Cold cuts. Processed cold cuts. That's what they're eating for lunch. I don't know. That's my biggest thing with the processed food eating is it's so obvious and people still choose to intake it. It's almost like it's an addiction. Like, can you not get away from eating eggs without ketchup? I mean, a burger is good with just tomatoes on it. A little bit of ketchup, okay, I'll give it to you, but people need all these filled sauces and flavors and artificial flavors in their food that are causing cancers and diseases because it's all just processed. The diet sodas, aspartame in all diet sodas, and the way people have to flavor their coffees with sweet and lows and all these other artificial flavors. They can't just have coffee with natural sugar, brown sugar in it. It has to be all these different kinds of sweeteners. And some people think that, oh, sweet and low is the worst for you, but no, you can have equal. That one's not that bad for you. That one's actually a lot better, you know. Like, sweet and low is the only one that causes cancer. And then you go downstairs and you look in the freezer, and the freezer is just filled with all these Stouffer dinners and Elio's pizza, and I mean, I could go on and on with how many TV dinners are in that freezer. It's just filled and packed. Pastas. You can't make pasta with a fresh sauce. That just doesn't happen anymore.
We're going to turn now to a new lawsuit that claims frozen pizza could be causing cancer. The $5 million class action targets Nestle Foods for including what they call a toxic carcinogen in the cheese for several popular frozen brands.
It's the $5 million frozen pizza battle that could heat up a California courtroom. This morning, DiGiorno, Stouffer's, and California Pizza Kitchen are coming under fire. A new class action lawsuit claiming the maker of the popular pizza brands are a danger to public health. Taking on Nestle, who produces all three brands, Katie Simpson of San Diego. In the lawsuit she just filed, she argues the company is placing profits over public health by not removing trans fats from their pizzas.
Katie has 2 young children, and she likes to make pizza for them. And, you know, all kids love pizza. It shouldn't have a toxic food additive that's been banned in many parts of the world.
California, followed by 13 cities across the U.S., bans trans fats in foods served in restaurants because they raise bad cholesterol and lower the good kind. But there are no bans on trans fats in packaged foods. The FDA and USDA only require that companies list all of the ingredients on the label. Still, when Simpson was buying her favorite frozen pizzas, she says she had no idea they contained what the suit calls a toxic carcinogen.
We're seeking all of the money Nestle's ever made selling frozen pizza.
But will this pizza suit get tossed out of court?
It's clear that these companies haven't broken really any rules.
Nestle tells ABC News, "We will vigorously defend ourselves against all baseless allegations. All of our pizza products are in strict compliance with both FDA and USDA regulations."
Laziness, I guess. That's what you could call it, is laziness. Laziness, not caring. People start eating this way. They start raising their kids on this kind of food, and they become addicted to it. That's why people can't eat eggs without ketchup. That's why people can't drink coffee without sweet and low. It's just, it's the way people are brought up, and it's part of an addiction that they can't get out of, and they can't get away from it. I've always believed this. My mom, I was a kid at the lunch table in kindergarten with the whole wheat sandwich, yes, whole grain bread with natural peanut butter and jelly. And then for a snack, I had an apple. Everybody else had Dunkaroos, Doritos, Chips Ahoy cookies, all these different processed snacks. I never had that. I was never brought up that way. My mom gave me the apple. And that's the way my mom was brought up, and the rest of my family, and I'm proud to say that nobody in my family has ever had cancer. I've no sign of it, no genetic intake, nothing. Cancer in my family, and I understand that it can be genetic, but I think a bigger reason is it's because of the way we eat and we allow ourselves to eat. Obviously, exercise is a big part of it too, but I'm not going to get into that. And so, it was my senior year of high school. My best friend's mom was diagnosed with terminal cancer. They said she would only last 6 months. We didn't even know this at the time, only the dad knew. We just knew she had cancer. She ended up living 3 years. Last year, October 23rd, 2012, she passed. That house that I was telling you about, the processed foods, the iceberg lettuce, the no fruits, the Stouffer's in the fridge, all the diet sodas, the sweet and lows, artificial sugars, artificial sweeteners. That was their house. That was her house. Now I'm trying to pull my friend away from that. I'm trying to get him to understand that you don't have to eat this way. You don't have to live the rest of your life with these kind of foods in your diet. It's hard. It's hard to get away from it, but I feel like after losing someone, maybe you'd understand after that it's important. That what you put in your body is important. What you put in is the way you come out. That's just how I've always believed. And I think if a lot of people believe this way, then cancers would be reduced. And like I said, I'm not talking about, not even getting into the meats and the proteins and the fishes and what they put in all of that. Because obviously I believe in that too, but that's like hard to get to people to even think about. You're lucky if you see people eating a real piece of green, a real piece of spinach or broccoli, a real actual like fruit, instead of having concentrated orange juice. And that's their way of saying, oh, I'm getting my vitamin C today. Organic means clean, hormone-free, cage-free, healthy, local. That's really what organic means to me. If I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy fish, it's going to be from the local seafood store. That's what organic is to me. Organic is where I know where it's coming from. I know exactly where it's coming from. I know it's clean, and I know it's cage-free, and I know that they didn't shoot up all these hormones into it. That's what it means. Organic doesn't mean organic labeled. That doesn't mean anything. The USDA has lied 1,000 times printing that label. And then you look on the ingredients, and how many ingredients on that label do you not know? If you do not know one ingredient on that label, don't buy it. Obviously, organic is hard to follow the real way and can be expensive and time consuming, but it's a way of life. And if it stops me and my family and the people I love from getting diseases and cancers and eating fresher, then I'm going to make it my way of life. And I'm going to make it my family's way of life. And I'm going to do my best to get people around me to maybe not make it a way of their lives, but at least understand what they are putting in a lot of our foods. And get them to understand that diet soda is killing you, and sweet and low is killing you, and iceberg lettuce isn't doing anything good for you. If I could get people to understand that, then I know I'm making a difference, and I know that I'm helping somebody else out in their life. And that's the way of life I want to live. That's what organic means to me.